On today's question of faith, can a Taylor Swift concert be a religious experience? Hey everybody, this is Question of Faith. I am Mike Hayes. I am the Young Adult Ministry Director in the Diocese of Cleveland.
And I'm Father Damian Ferentz, the Vicar for Evangelization.
And my name is Emily Ahlin. I'm the Director of Archives for the Diocese of Cleveland.
You are indeed. And you're a Swiftie.
I'm like I don't know if I'd describe myself as like a hardcore Swiftie. Mm-hmm. My friends showed me what it means to be a hardcore Swiftie when I signed up to do this whole experience. I am sitting here wearing a shirt with Taylor Swift's face on it,
you
though,
are.
So maybe I am a Swiftie.
And a bracelet of some sort, right?
Yeah, my friendship bracelets. So I went with two of my friends, and one of them bought these friendship bracelets off of Etsy, and I didn't realize the friendship bracelets were a thing until about a week before the concert, so I went to Target and bought a bunch of beads and wanted to make friendship bracelets, and then life got in the way, and that didn't happen. But I remember one of my friends because I got the tickets in November, right? Because you had to get these ridiculously early. About a month after we got the tickets, she texted me and she was like, "So what's our costume for this?" And I was like, "We're wearing costumes."
So now wait, so where did you see the concert?
In Pittsburgh.
So the Eras Tour is Taylor Swift's sweeping the nation tour that she's been doing.
There's rumors of a second U.S. leg, and we're talking about where we want to go back, especially if she picks up Cleveland on the way through the second one.
I thought she was coming to Indianapolis. That was closest or something. And Toronto for next fall?
Yeah, next fall she's in Toronto, I'm pretty sure New Orleans, and Indianapolis. But that's all she's announced thus far, and there's rumors that she's going to announce more.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, it's...
Well, if she comes to Cleveland, I'd have to do some cultural research.
Yeah, I would have to do that with you, I think. I have to figure that out.
It's worth it. It's so worth it.
Yeah.
So I loved it.
Was it a religious experience? Was it spiritual? Talk to us.
As the Diocesan Archivist, I've been being in the middle of the Eucharistic revival. I've been spending a lot of time thinking about the 1935 Eucharistic Congress that was held here in Cleveland.
Right.
And so we're in Heinz Field, and you'll notice I called it Heinz Field and not Acrisure Stadium because I am Acrisure as heck not calling it that.
I don't even know what that means.
Nobody knows what it means.
Exactly.
And all diehard Pittsburghers like myself are still angry about it. So anyways, we're sitting in Heinz Field and watching Taylor perform, and all I can think about is, wow, at the Eucharistic Congress, the stadium was this full. Mm-hmm. The stadium was this full, and this many people, people were clinging on to every single word that Taylor said. And so I started thinking about this. I was like, how many of these people go to church on Sunday? How many of these people, this is, there were girls sitting in front of us. The one girl made an outfit that was an exact replica of one of the outfits that Taylor wore on stage that night. And I remember her saying, right before Taylor came on stage, she was like, something about the best night of my life. And I'm like, okay, if this is the epitome of your life, that's going to be really disappointing. 5 years from now.
Yeah, glad to have that wrapped up at 24 maybe,
Right. Case, She was definitely younger than me. So,
yeah. And
so I just the part of me that is still a missionary, because I say all the time, once you become a missionary, you don't stop becoming a missionary. Your mission just changes. Mm-hmm. I just started thinking about what is it about what is it about Taylor, and what is it about the Taylor Swift concert that has everybody just completely, I don't even know the right word.
Enraptured, maybe.
Yeah. And I was like, would this many people today show up for the Eucharist? I mean, I guess we'll find out in Indianapolis next summer.
Well, they did it World Youth Day just last month. With
that's
Holy
true.
Father,
You're right.
1.5 million.
Right.
So,
that's a good point.
Yeah. So I too am very interested in this phenomenon, whether it's with music or with sports, because even this past Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, when the Browns had their home opener at Cleveland Browns Stadium. 5 a.m, people were lined up in their RVs and their vans getting ready to pull in the Muni lot and have community. They're wearing particular outfits. There's a particular culture, and there's a particular ritual that people go through. And then they do it together, and then there's something about being gathered with a bunch of people who are doing pretty much the same thing together.
They share food.
They share some chants, and there's something about that rings true to human experience, and human beings like that. And all you need to look to is ticket sales to see that that's the case.
Yeah.
But what Emily's saying here is, it doesn't last because the longing that we have is actually for more than just that. It's for heaven. It's for God Himself. So, but to discount someone's experience or quote unquote a religious experience of a concert of something that's beautiful, or even like Taylor Swift's music, young people, particularly women, connect to her. They feel seen, they feel understood, and they love it. And I'm similar to Springsteen, man. I go to a Springsteen show, I'm singing along, and sometimes goosebumps, and there's a moment there that can't be denied that something is happening.
I mean, every time Swift sings "Long Live," I'm just like, yeah, I get that, you know what I mean? And same with Bruce, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you and I are both big.
I don't know
Bruce
"Long
fans.
Live." Should I know "Long Live"? I guess
Long
I'm not a
Live,
Swiftie.
you know,
is that the 10-minute long song?
No, that's the all too well 10-minute version.
Oh.
That song does it for me, but. You know, I've been liking Long Live too. I've been listening to it a lot more, and I think it's really for like people who are very nostalgic about like a particular time in their life.
Correct.
Because like I find myself being very nostalgic for college, and I think Long Live really captures a lot of that. And I was even thinking too, as I was sitting there, you know, all the same things you were saying, Father Damien, like we can't discount this. Like there's something real here, and it occurred to me when Taylor was singing Enchanted, and there's a line in the song, I was enchanted to meet you. And at that point, because she's very theatrical, like she knew that she had us all at like the tip of her tongue, or not her tongue, like her finger, like at her fingertips. Yeah, in the palm of her hand, like, you know, it was so funny. She would like, you know, like point at different sections of the crowd, and everybody would just like go, "Oh my gosh, it's Taylor Swift." And I mean, I was doing the same thing.
Like, "Oh my gosh, it's Taylor Swift." I love that. It sounds like a meme.
But so in Enchanted, she was wearing the most gorgeous dress I've ever seen in my entire life. Like I was like, I really wish I could own this dress. It's beautiful. And I was enchanted to meet you. She bowed down and pointed to the rest of us. And I was like, that is genuine. She is genuinely very happy that 77,000 people are packed into Heinz Field right now singing these songs with her. She genuinely, there's no part of her that's not genuine. I think every time she shows up somewhere, she is herself, and the things that she is saying, she means them. And you know, I think a lot of people, I think there's places in the church where that's happening, but I also think there's places in the church where that's not happening too. And I think
what is and what is not. Yeah. Genuine or authenticity?
I think the genuine authenticity, like there's some times where, and people have encountered this, where they feel like, I don't feel like I'm seen by the church, or like, I don't feel like I'm seen by this person, or like there's like something that I can't connect to. But like God and Jesus, like the Trinity is the most knowable being in the universe, right? God is so knowable that he renders himself unknown. So I don't know. I don't know how we fix that disconnect or like help people.
Well, I think the credible witness piece is very important, and obviously Pope Francis is big on that, and so Benedict, his emphasis on the saints, John Paul II, going back to even Paul VI, it was a big part of Evangelii Nuntiandi, saying we need witnesses, right? Yeah, that's very important. And I think the point of this is very important to me. When you're talking, I believe what you say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very important. And I think vulnerability goes into that a bit. If someone seems too perfect, I wonder like, I think that's why witnesses are so important on retreats in particular, or just in conversation with other people, that you realize, wow, this is what Christian living looks like. And when you realize that it's hard and it takes some time, and sometimes you trip up. I mean, that's why we have the sacrament of reconciliation. That's why we have community. You could say, I can do that. Then I can do that. I feel like this is accessible to me. I can find my way here. I think all that's very important.
Yeah. And I think what you said before, Emily, about being genuine, I think is important. I think that, that every once in a while, I'm learning homiletics in formation, and and I think that, I'm hard on preachers sometimes, just as a person who sits in the pew, right? And there are days where some preachers will come out and they'll have a really written script, and they won't even look up from their thing. Usually not here in this diocese, I might add. But when someone stands in front of us and talks to us, not necessarily at us, there's something there. A preaching coach that I know well, Father John Gainey, who's out in Boston, he used to say all the time, he said, he would encourage the guys in homiletics class not to use their notes. He would say, if you can't remember it, they sure as heck never will.
Right.
And I was like, there's something to that. And not to say you should never use your notes, because sometimes, memory is memory, right? Mm-hmm. But, know what you want to say. And I think to Pope Francis's point, that kind of keeps it short, too, because you can't remember everything. Sometimes what you don't say is more important than what you do say.
Absolutely.
And I think other people have kind of caught on to that in other forms of the secular world, including, rock stars, right? Taylor Swift doesn't look at her notes when she's singing a song.
Although Bruce Springsteen and some of these bands, because they've written so many songs, sometimes do have the screen prompter so they don't get the words wrong.
Oh, you have to.
Or the crowd will yell back like, oh, Jewel used to do that. She's like, help me with the second verse, and then you'd yell out. But and I would say too, like sometimes for a wedding or especially a funeral homily, it's nobody's fault to be writing things down. You can still write a text that can connect with people. And I think the point is, either way, it has to be authentic.
Yes, that's right.
And so if you're used to working from a text and you're trying to stand up there, it may actually seem more fake. So it's figuring out how to be the authentic son or daughter of the Father that you're called to be.
My trick is I always write how I talk.
Right.
Anytime I write, that's something that teachers have commented on from middle school. They're like, your writing sounds exactly like you talking. And I think that brings in...
And sometimes it's memory and time, right? I didn't have enough time to memorize this, but I had enough time to write it, so I wrote it the way I would naturally say it, so this way I can kind of deliver that in the way I intended to deliver it. Right? Yeah,
exactly.
Well, Taylor, she's not Catholic, but her brother, Austin, went to Notre Dame. I do know that.
Did he? Okay.
And when one of my friends graduated in her master's, she got her master's from Notre Dame, Taylor was there to see her brother graduate. I know that's
cool.
the case. And I've seen pictures of her in a Notre Dame hoodie or sweatpants or something.
These are all the little tidbits I don't know, because I'm my friends are really into the conspiracy theories too. Taylor was wearing this color nail polish when she did this video, so she's going to release this album on this day, and we know this because of this. And Taylor does all those things.
Interesting.
But I'm like, these conspiracy theory Swifties are a little too much for me.
Easter eggs. She leaves you Easter eggs.
She leaves a lot of Easter eggs, but that's.
Wait, say more about that. I don't know about this.
Yeah, if you go on Jimmy Fallon and she'll, in the liner notes and on the cover of her album, she's always thinking deeply about whatever she's going to put out, and she hides a lot of little favors, Easter eggs for her fans.
Now I get it.
So everybody thought 1989, I think it was 1989, Taylor's version was going to come out in December, because in the promo video for the Speak Now Taylor's version album, she specifically was wearing multiple colors of nail polish, and at one point she had two of her fingers on the album and pulled out the record, and the colors you could see were red and green. And then she switched her fingers, and all you could see was a solid blue. And so on my friendship bracelet, you see all these different color beads. They're all the different color albums. So Debut is green, Fearless is yellow, Speak Now is purple, Red is red. 1989 is blue, Reputation is black, Lover is pink, Folklore's gray, Evermore's brown, and Midnight's is like a navy blue. And so
it's interesting. Those colors come up on my screen when in my car when I listen to the albums. It's switches from gray to red. I never caught on to this.
And you started out by saying you don't know if you're totally a Swiftie with that. Come on.
I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot from my friends. But yeah, so 1989 is blue, right? And so then you saw the blue nail polish. So everybody's like, 1989 is coming out on her birthday, December 13th. And it's not. It's coming out October 13th. But
it's a Feast of St. Lucy. She was born on the Feast of St. Lucy. I pray for Taylor every day by name at the end of my rosary, along with a bunch of other artists. And her mother. I say, because her mom was battling with cancer, so I never dropped her from my petition list. Yeah.
Nice.
I think she's in remission, so that's good.
Well, I'll still pray for her.
Definitely.
Once you're on, it's hard to get off my list.
Ooh.
So
you're gonna go back. You're gonna go back to another concert. You're gonna be like those who tour with the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I'm gonna be
afford it.
A Swiftie version of a Deadhead. No, I cannot afford it. That is absolutely true. I considered, because she's doing like 6 shows in London. I was like, that would be fun.
Now, when you get you don't have to answer this one. Get out this out if you don't want to. But when you get the tickets as early as you did, did you pay a cheaper price?
I mean, I paid face value for them.
That's good.
I got mine at face value because I actually bought them here because it was a Tuesday. And so I brought my laptop because I knew I was going to buy the tickets, and then I had like a virtual appointment with a healthcare provider like after work that I was just going to take in the bowels of the archives.
Yeah, right.
And so I had my personal laptop with me that day, and I was like, I didn't bring my charger because I knew it was fully charged. And my laptop, I was like, I've got plenty of room to spend like 15 minutes buying these tickets and like, the hour I'm going to be on with this healthcare provider. And, at 10:30, I was like, I'm going to be here for a while on Ticketmaster's website. 5 hours later, I finally made it through the queue. I had to borrow a laptop charger from Mary Benino because we had the same laptop. And I was like thinking,
keep hitting refresh.
I just left it open, and then probably about 1 o'clock, I like carried my laptop around with me like all day. I didn't go to mass like I usually do. And I started like moving up in the queue, and I was like, there's going to be nothing left. There's going to be absolutely nothing left by the time I get there. But I was able to find 3 tickets for me and my 2 friends. And we were in the very, very tippy top of the stadium.
Yeah, but you're in the
building.
You were
in.
But we were in.
That's
we were breathing the same air as Taylor Swift. And that's the important part.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Emily, where do you go to church these days?
I am a parishioner at St. Luke's in Lakewood.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah.
And what do you like about the church there?
I think my favorite...
My old stomping grounds now.
Yeah. You were our deacon intern. Is that what you're called?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's about right.
For a while. I think my favorite thing about St. Luke's is that it's a wonderful cross-section of the church. There's plenty of like people who have lived in Lakewood their entire lives and, raised kids who went to St. Luke's school. There's also a ton of young families. There's a thriving young adult community. Like to me, it's just like, it's what the church should be, right? It's all of us together. It's not any one like section of the group, and the people there have been nothing but welcoming and wonderful to me since I joined. And
Father Kevin Albert's the pastor there. They have a beautiful statue of St. Luke the artist just behind the church that you ought to check out.
Max Hall, one of the young adult minister folks there, does a lot of things. PSR. I know, Emily, you teach PSR for him from time to time. Right?
I teach 5th grade, and I only have 3 kids in my class right now. So if you are a parent of a child in elementary school and you send your kid to public school and you live in Lakewood, you should join us for PSR because it's a good time. And 5th grade is sacraments, which is a really fun curriculum to teach.
Right. That's Parish School of Religion for those who are not informed of what these acronyms are. We're a church of acronyms sometimes. And so our readings for this coming Sunday, our first reading is from Isaiah. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call to him while he is near. One of the things that I think we always think about is that young people don't have any religious experience. However, they have a bunch of experiences that can bring God to mind for them. The concert might be one of them. Sports might be another one. So the God is everywhere. Find God in all things.
And I went with the gospel. It's the workers in the vineyard. I love that one so much because it's not about economics. It's actually about salvation and relationship with the Lord. And at different points in people's lives, they come to know him. And if you realize that, then you're never going to be upset. If someone has a deathbed confession at the 11th hour, you'll actually rejoice and say, awesome, you're getting the same thing I'm getting, which is the relationship with the Lord. So,
amen.
Yeah. I was thinking about the first reading too, the your ways are not my ways, and the Lord reminds me of that frequently, that his ways and my ways are not the same.
Ain't that the truth? So I'm going to go see the Taylor Swift movie that's coming out in October.
Oh, my friends and I are going to see that too.
Yeah, so I think that'll be fun. So
I am a Swiftie, I'll admit it.
Yeah, I think I am too at this point.
How could you not be? She's so versatile. She had a genre-defying career, like, I don't know. Yeah.
Well, not only are we Swifties, we're all Catholic. And if you're listening to us, we hope that you've enjoyed this question of faith. Oh, I almost forgot. At our ballpark mass, we had our Softball League's All-Star Game. So here is another softball update. All right, the visiting team made up of players from Catching Flamingos, the Lakesiders, the Chosen Ones, the Ite Project, and the St. Vitus Lions. They took on a team made up of Big League Chew, the Southside Sabres, and the Westside Whitecaps. And so we're going to call the visiting team, which is the first team I made, we're going to call them the Ludwigs, because Jimmy Ludwig was the manager of that team, and we're going to call the other team the Logans. And so the Ludwigs beat the Logans 9-2. Big Ed Wenneberg of the Lakesiders, he had a big day. He had 2 hits and 3 RBIs, including a run-clearing triple that hit the fence in right field. It was the farthest ball anyone's hit, maybe even all season. But he had 3 RBIs. Ben Pollock also had a nice day. He broke the game away early in the game by getting a base hit and driving in 2 runs. An amazing, amazing, amazing play by Joe Vicario, who picked up a loose ball that was thrown away by an error and tossed it toward the catcher a la Derek Jeter style. And they got the runner out at the plate and saved another run there. On the hitting side for the Logans, Big Phil Lancada, 3 hits and 2 runs scored. He had a great day. And Tyler Meter and Tom Bruno each had an RBI apiece. Our own Emily Ahlin, our guest today on the program, with a nice hit to center field. Everybody had a great day. Ballpark Mass was fantastic, and we'll have this and a whole lot more next time on Question of Faith.